pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance, wisdom, and support as we begin this meeting. Help us engage in meaningful discussion, allow us to grow close and nurture the bonds of our community. Lord, we also ask that you remember those in need today. We pray that you comfort them with love and mercy. We ask all of this in thy heavenly precious name. Amen.
Amen.
All right, I'm going to begin the meeting. Our chair, Commissioner Powell, is out of town today, so I'm going to do my best to make him proud of me. And we'll begin the Commissioners' meeting October 27th with approving the minutes of October 20th, 2022.
I'd make a motion to approve the minutes of October 20th as submitted by our clerk.
Okay. And we have a couple guests here today. We have two representatives from ADA MHS, and they're going to elaborate a little bit on impact or prevention impact, or is it impact prevention? That group was here a couple weeks ago, and it consisted of a number of high school students, and I believe they originally are from Ironton, but they have come to Scioto, and they've already are working with 5 different schools. So these ladies are going to elaborate a little bit on what their organization stands for and how they're involved in that. And so I'd like to introduce Molly Stevens and Sue Schultz. And we have a mic over here if you'd like to use that.
In the meantime, I need a second, and we need to vote on that.
Oh,
Yeah, we got to finish item 1.
oh, I'm sorry.
So I need a second. You need a second.
I can
Okay.
second,
Okay, Mr. Davis?
She had to vacate the chair to do that.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. I will vacate the chair to answer,
To second.
to second this motion.
Okay, Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
All right.
No, just the first.
Just the first.
Okay.
All right, well, my name is Molly Stevens, and I am an Ohio Certified Prevention Specialist, and I'm the CEO of Impact Prevention. We are located in Lawrence County, but Sue, as our Adams Board lead, is we're always looking to find ways that we can go into other areas. You guys are not currently really having a whole lot of prevention in your schools or a coalition or those sorts of things. So we are extremely at Impact Prevention excited about the new collaboration and possibilities of coming into Scioto and making a overall nice, well-rounded, multi-strategy prevention so that we can affect not only our young people in our schools, but also, anyone across the age levels. So a few things that we are already working on, which I'm excited about, is the Ohio Healthy Youth Environment Survey. In the field of prevention, we normally don't do anything if we don't have some type of data to look at to see what's going on within the community that you're fixing to work in. So we do have a few schools that signed on with the Ohio Healthy Youth Environment Survey, which we call OYES. This is a survey that the state provides, and the schools just have to sign up and get their kids to a computer within a window of time to answer either a 100 question test or survey, or they can do the 120, which has the extra 20 is sexual activity. A lot of the schools don't get into that, but we're interested in the national outcome measures and the community outcome measures and what we call intervening variables. There's questions throughout that you can pull all of that information out of. So the reason that this is so important is because when we get our coalition together here, our prevention coalition, we're going to have information to look at to see what's going on in our school communities. We also do the youth-led, which is the young people that come here to talk to you, the youth-led teams. And
those kids have to have data to look at too. In regard to the Ohio Healthy Youth Environment Survey, though, right now we have Green local, Valley local, Northwest, Medford, New Boston, I call it Portsmouth West, Washington Nile, Bloom Vernon, Wheelersburg, and Sciotaville. We have all 9 of those schools
Oh, 9.
signed up to implement, which is great because once we get that data, we can start getting into more schools and saying, you know, we've got your data that's going to be here next year. We need to get your team ready to go, get them together, get them meshed. So that's awesome. So our youth-led teams that we have currently, we have Medford, Portsmouth West, Northwest, and let's see, can't read my own writing.
Portsmouth or Sodaville East and Green. Is that right?
Side of Medford, yeah, Medford, Green, East,
Northwest.
Portsmouth West, Northwest.
Okay.
I've got Medford again, but that makes too many. And then as of just Tuesday, I had one of our young ladies at Portsmouth West say, "My mom wants you to come over and talk to me." So I went over to talk to her mom, and it turned out that it was Miss Doss, who's the counselor. And she said, "You can't leave us out of this. The middle school has to have this too." So I'm scheduled to go back to see them, and they're going to have their own team also. So with the data that we get from the ODS survey, these young people that come together in the school day look at that data, and they come up with what we call a problem of practice that they want to focus on, that they want to make better in their school community. So then from there, we dig deeper into the data to find out what we call intervening variables. The why here's why now. Is your parents not talking to you about the dangers of drugs? Do your peers feel like that it's okay to do those kind of things? You know, what's going on in your community? So do you feel safe at school? I mean, that's a question that's on there. How many ACEs have you experienced? So all those things, you know, we can look at, and those could be intervening variables that we can work on. And then we do what we call a logic model, and it's a beast of a look of a piece of paper, but we just work with the kids to get it together piece by piece, and then when we finish it, we give it to them. The final part of it will be your outcomes. 5 years down the road, what do you want that data point to look like? How do you want it to change? And then at the top, we have a theory of change. So all of this work is grounded in science and theory. State of Ohio is on the cutting edge. I love to go out of town to seminars where you have people from all over the state of Ohio, or all of the states of the United States, or even out of the United States, because they always want to know, what are you doing? You know, because we're just on the cutting edge, which is awesome. In regard to the Impact Youth-led teams, we now have a youth council here in this county, and those folks would be Medford, Northwest, East currently, and we're working to expand it. We are going to have a youth-led summit in January, and we haven't solidified the date, but we want to invite you all to come. Sure. And hope to have participation from all of the schools, like we do in Lawrence. I've talked to y'all about the life skills training. It's an evidence-based training that was created by Dr. Botvin. And I don't know, about 4 years back, for some reason, we had a little bit extra money, and I had 2 staff that I approached and said, will you go get trained so that you can train other people? And they said, sure. So they went to New York. I don't know why they wanted to go to that training, but anyway, and they got that training. And then 2 years ago, we got this money from the state. We was gifted this wonderful money from Sue that came through the state, and we trained right at or over 100 teachers in your schools, representing New Boston, Bloom Vernon, Clay, Northwest, Valley, Portsmouth West, and Wheelersburg. So we all have individuals there. So my hope is to be able to stipend those teachers that have already been trained and give them technical assistance, go in and work with them and make sure that everything's going well, get our post-testing, and then, you know, they can do the work because they're the boots on the ground. They're there on a daily. And then they will have a better relationship with their young people because of what all's covered with that program. It gives the kids decision-making skills. It curbs violence, gives them the facts about how our, like vaping manufacturers and those people, they target our kids. They're just wanting to be a, consumer for the rest of their life. And when the kids get savvy to that, they won't do it, So it's pretty cool. So that's my plan for that. We do have a person trained at our agency with a program called QPR, which stands for Question, Persuade, and Refer. And since COVID, we've had so much isolation that there is a big increase of, people thinking about suicide. And so this program is like QPR. It lasts about 2 hours. It's for anybody across the board. We've done it in schools. We've taught any of the people at the schools that work at the schools, custodians, someone shared on one of our cards the other day that they had targeted barbershops. So, but anyway, it just gives you good information. It's a whole words matter thing. So you know how to talk to someone if you feel like that they're in need, and you won't turn them off or scare them away. And so it's a really good program, and we'd love to get more of that in this community. Community trainings, just so that people know what we're about, like Prevention 101, because we're a different bird. I say we talk a different language, but really whenever we look at school's language, it's our language, they just call it something different, like the IBPS or something. That's our version of a strategic prevention framework. They just call it different things. And then of course, yeah, there it is. PBIS. And of course, we want to get an adult prevention coalition here in the community so that we can do things like our party in the parks, which social isolation is a reason that a lot of people use opioids. They don't have the money to get out and do social things, but opioids is the thing that can take that pain away. So those are all things that in year one, I plan to try to get accomplished. And if there's others that you would like to see, please feel free to, I have my card, I can leave everyone a card if you want to get a hold of me about anything, but we're boots on the ground and ready to roll.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do want to take a few minutes though and just say thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for listening. I mean, we have been trying our best to get a more robust prevention program in Scioto County for a few years. We've contracted with Molly since you've started with her impact prevention in Lawrence County, and they have done an excellent job up there, and I want that replicated in Scioto County.
That's right.
And I have all the faith in everything and her whole staff and every program that Impact Prevention does. So I just want to thank you for giving us those funds to be able to get this started and off the ground in Scioto County, because I do not think you will be upset one bit about the progress that she will be able to do within our schools. We will just need maybe a little bit of push to get the rest of the schools involved.
Yeah.
So maybe coming to you to kind of help us a little bit on that piece. But, we have a good relationship with Sandy Mars at the ESC too.
Yeah.
So we'll be talking to her. Hopefully we can get, more of it into our area. And unfortunately, prevention dollars from the state that we get is minimal. And when I have to spread that across my 3 counties of Adams, Lawrence, Scioto, it's very, very hard to get some good, robust programs. And this is going to be a big, big help. So thank you so much for doing this.
I
Thank
would
you.
like to make a recommendation. When you go to the schools who are slightly reluctant, take that group of kids that were.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were awesome. They rocked it.
That's
Yep.
your council.
They were great.
Actually, some of those are on your council.
They-
Yes.
I think they represented Northwest, Minford, and East.
Yes, they did.
Yes. Yep.
They were
Excellent
phenomenal.
kids.
They were phenomenal.
Yeah,
So-
Northwest this week on Tuesday, we had a team of 12 young people from the high school, and we went into the elementary school. We saw assembly style K through 2nd grade. And so we got together before we went over and came up with a game plan about what we was going to do. Talked about the attention span of a person in K through 2nd grade. So anyway, since it was Red Ribbon Week and we wanted to do something drug related, the young people come up with a script about the dangers of of drugs, and how sometimes if you see something laying on the ground, you don't know what it is, don't touch it, don't taste it, go get an adult, you know. And then they also talked about, well, the young man said, so how many people here has been sick? You know, everybody's like, and then it was, how many people here has accepted drugs from a trusted adult or a parent? And yeah, we know that's all that we can take drugs from. So if I was at school and had something going on, you think it's all right for me to go and say, hey, Emma, can I have some of the drugs that you've got because I've got this going on? And then explain, no, that's not okay because her drugs are, you know, prescribed for her body and those sorts of things. So you can't do that. That's dangerous. So, but it was real short, and then they played a little game with them where they had somebody act out that they was going to touch this thing, and was that right? If it was right, you're going to go, woo, woo, woo. If it's not right, you're going to go, right? So the kids got a big fun out of that, made it a game. And then we played games with them. We played Duck, Duck, Goose, and depending on, you know, their age level. And it was a good break. The teachers even talked about how they loved the time to get away for a half an hour for a brain break and let the kids have fun.
What was that age group? What was the age?
Kindergarten, first and second grade.
Think about that.
And then it was the high school.
It's
You have to
amazing.
think, it was the high school kids who came down to do this. That is the group of kids these young kids
They
are
look
looking
up
at.
to. Oh, yeah.
You know, the cheerleader, the football player, the basketball player, just the kids that's in the honor systems or anything. I mean, it could be their own brother or sister. And they say, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
This is fun. I enjoy this. Tell me more. You know,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
I witnessed that very
That's where it's
thing at the West game the other night after their win.
Yeah.
And I have the young man that was quarterback is my nephew. So I went down on the field with the rest of the family and all the fans. What I found, it just made my heart just fill up with just pride, because here were they were interviewing 2 men off the team, and there were a dozen or more of these young children just right there, and they just wanted, you know, to be part of that, and they looked up to them. Some of them even asked for autographs.
Oh, how
So
sweet.
That's
they
cute.
could have such an impact.
Oh,
with
they
these
do.
young
They do. Yes.
Yeah, they don't, well, peer-to-peer is a much better teaching model because they'll listen to them. And the high school kids also introduced themselves and related themselves to some type of animal so that the kids would have an association. So if they see them out and can't remember their name, maybe they'll remember their animal. So it was a lot of fun.
But thank you. Thank you so
We
much.
appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
And I
would
think
like
you're going to be impressed.
I would like to add a couple of things. Sue, I don't know how long it's been when we first talked about this.
I know.
It's been a while.
It has been.
And of course, I remember as recent as, I think it was 2019, being in the White House and telling them, look, if you don't do prevention education, you're totally missing the boat. And us having experience in this area, much more so for a longer period of time than anyone else, because this was the epicenter of opioid addiction. You know, I felt like, having spoken with a lot of the professionals in our area, that was an accurate statement. And I made the statement then. I said, if you start now, if you start a robust prevention education piece to your solution, you're looking at 20 years to see a turnaround in numbers, because it's generational. And we have to start with the kids. And of course, it really wasn't, I think the proof's in the pudding. It wasn't well received because they're not doing it. They're still not doing it, not in an appreciable way. And what I really like about Impact and what we're doing here in Soda now, you know, and of course they've done it in Lawrence, is that we're not waiting on Columbus to save us. We're not waiting on Washington to save us. And and we had this discussion about funding early on. Was like, well, do we wait until we see the One Ohio recovery dollars? Which, who knows? At this point, you know, we hear a lot of talk. But do we wait for that? Do we wait until, you know, our lawsuit with the opioid manufacturer, our distributors, it comes to fruition? And the answer was resoundingly no. We can't wait. There's literally lives hanging in the balance here. There's futures hanging in the balance here. So you know, we decided, of course, last week to do the 2-year funding, and of course, you know, my goal and our goal is to make sure this continues, regardless of what happens with One Ohio or with our lawsuit or whatever it might be. We need to make this happen for our children, our families, and I'm very excited. When they came in 2 weeks ago, those young people came in here and spoke so eloquently and so clearly on the needs. I heard about that. You know, when I went home, one of my sons came up to me and he said, I heard some of my friends were in the commissioner's office today. This was the buzz of the school. They went back and they could hardly believe that they got that kind of time with us. We didn't know what to expect. They didn't know what to expect of us, but it turned into an hour-long discussion about addiction in our community from high school perspective. And it was very, very informative. The dangers of, vaping, what's going on with vaping in our community. Every parent listening to this, every grandparent should listen to the fact you need to check your child. You need to make sure that they understand the dangers of vaping. It is prevalent, it's huge, and I believe that it leads to other addictions and other issues. So good job. Thank you so much. I'm so excited. If we could put a value on this, I don't think we can. I think it's priceless. What we're getting ready to do, what you're setting the stage for, and it'll take some time to get those counselors and get those people in place. But you're already there. You're already doing things, and we're already seeing it. I Red Ribbon Week in my child's school is this week, and I'm already seeing and hearing things. And every night they're coming home saying, "Hey, we did this, we did that," and the older kids came over and talked to us. You know, we hear about peer pressure. This is positive peer reinforcement. This is what we need, and so excited. Real life stories. I call it Dare on steroids. But way better than Dare. I mean, this is in your face truth, and that's what people need. They need to hear truth. And K through second, there may be some say, well, that's too early to hear. There's ways to do it to where they're not even understanding that drug prevention is being reinforced in their life, and they may not understand 100% at K through 2. Some of them do, because they live with it.
That's right.
They live with it, and that's where we're at in our society. And if we're going to stop it and curb it and get it reversed and start seeing our numbers drop, which is everyone's desire, that's what we want to see, we have to do prevention education. And thank you so much for bringing this to us. This is the puzzle piece that's finally in place.
I think so.
And we're going to see great things happen, and it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful. So thank you.
I'll talk to Sue about reports and what all we can get
Yes.
to you, so you
Yeah,
can
we
see
want
that
to
we're
make
moving.
sure that you see everything that they're doing. So you will be getting reports from the board from what Impact is, presenting into the schools. So
Awesome.
I want you guys to be informed on everything, every step of the way. Okay?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so
Get
much,
you a
okay?
copy?
Yeah. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Have
you.
a safe drive to Athens. Non-stop fun, isn't it? I know what it's like. We're all running right now, trying to get things done.
Trying to get it all finished, yes.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Okay.
Card and then-
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Dare. Thank you so much.
Could I get, you got another one? If not, that's okay. I'll get one from her. I'll get a copy from her. If you have one left, you better. You might want to keep it. You may need it later. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Molly.
Thank you guys for,
If anybody has any questions, they can get on your website too. And it's Impact Prevention .org, I think it is. ImpactPrevention.org, and you can get on there and see all the wonderful things that they're doing. A lot of it's Lawrence County, because that's where most of your experience has been, but they're replicating that here. And I will tell you, in talking with Lawrence County commissioners, they all praise this program. They do, because they've already seen the results. And Kudos, way to go. I'm excited. This is great. Thank you.
This is wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Mhm. You too. All right, Madam Chairman.
Yes,
Number 2 is in the matter request for appropriation transfer of funds.
are there any questions on item 2? Hearing none,
I'd make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
In a matter of accepting meeting minutes.
Any questions on item 3? Hearing none,
Motion to accept.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution of the use of ARPA revenue replacement funds for the provision of government services regarding Job and Family Services, Children Protective Services.
Item number 4 is resolution which allocates the sum of $1 million from the ARPA Local Fiscal Recovery Fund, number 934, and appropriates said sum for any and all necessary expenditures of the Scioto County Department of Job and Family Services, Child Protection Division to perform its functions and duties. Are there any questions regarding number 4? Hearing none,
Motion to adopt.
second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
In the matter of rescinding resolution regarding the expenditure of American Rescue Plan fiscal recovery funds regarding the sheriff vehicle purchase.
Item number 5, the Scioto County Board of Commissioners appropriated and encumbered the sum of $474,420 from ARPA Local Fiscal Recovery Fund, number 934, to purchase 10 2022 Dodge Pursuit and Durango vehicles to be used by the Scioto County Sheriff's Department, and consistent with said resolution, Scioto County Sheriff David Thurman and/or his designee ordered said vehicles from an authorized dealer, Grieve, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Van Wert, and on the 10th day of August 2022, Scioto County Sheriff David Thurman was advised by the authorized dealer that due to the continued part shortages and plant downtimes, the orders will not be able to be produced in '22, and therefore the orders were canceled, and it is the desire of the board to rescind the December 16th, 2022 resolution to allow the sum of $474,420 to be allocated in another manner consistent with the American Rescue Plan Act in the future. Are there any questions regarding number 5? Hearing none,
I'd make a motion to approve. I don't think we're adopting a rescission, are we?
Yes.
We are?
Yes.
Adopting a rescission? Okay.
Yeah,
Motion
it's
to
it's
adopt.
still a resolution, so,
Okay.
yeah.
I'll second.
We don't
Mr.
do it very
Davis?
often. Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
In the matter request for appropriation of funds.
Are there any questions regarding item 6? Hearing none,
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
In a matter of contract agreement between the Board of Scioto County Commissioners and George J. Eigel and Company Incorporated regarding Scioto County Road 18, 6.46 White Gravel Road Bridge Replacement, PID 110985.
Item number 7 is a contract between the Board of Scioto County Commissioners and George J. Eigel and Company Incorporated to furnish all labor, equipment, and materials and perform all the work as specifications entitled SEI CR 18-6.46 White Gravel Road Bridge Replacement, PID 110985, in the amount of $891,500, work to be completed on or before October 20th, 2023. Are there any questions on item 7? Hearing none,
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
In a matter of bid rejection and bid award and contract between the Board of Scioto County Commissioners, Allen Stone Company Incorporated, and DGM Incorporated regarding Scioto County Road 33, 0.19 Duck Run Road Bridge Replacement, PID 115565.
Item number 8 SCI-CR 33-019 Duck Run Road Bridge Replacement Project. Bid be rejected from Allen Stone Company, Inc., and be deemed unresponsive and rejected for the following reasons. Per proposal, note 013 of the bid documents, each bidder is required to submit a DBE utilization plan before or at the time of bid opening. The county has confirmed through email with ODOT Central Office that no DBE utilization plan was received from Allen Stone Company before or on September 22nd, 2022. And the county has also confirmed via telephone conversation with Allen Stone Company that no DBE utilization plan was submitted before the bid opening. ODOT recommendation that the county reject the first apparent low bidder, ALB, and proceed with the second, ALB. The county prosecutor's office concurred with ODOT's recommendation. Therefore, contract for SCI CR 33-0.19 Duck Run Road Bridge Replacement, PID 115565, be awarded to and contract between the Board of Sauter County Commissioners and DGM Inc. in the amount of $681,000 be approved. Are there any questions on number 8? Hearing none,
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
In the matter request to attend meetings.
Any questions regarding item 9? Hearing none,
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
In the matter of accepting miscellaneous reports.
Are there any questions on item number 10? Hearing none,
Motion to accept.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
In the matter request for fund transfers.
Are there any questions regarding item number 11? Hearing none,
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
In the matter of approving payment of the regular schedule of accounts for the various funds, moral obligations, and the then announced certificates in the total amount of $465,401.09.
Are there any questions regarding item number 12? Hearing none,
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
In the matter of accepting an amended certificate from the Budget Commission.
Are there any questions regarding item number 13? Hearing none,
Motion to accept.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
In the matter of bid award for the Sauter County Department of Job and Family Services vehicle lease.
Item 9, excuse me. Take a drink. Item number 14, bid award for vehicle lease upon recommendation of Tammy Moore Morton, JFS Director, be awarded to Haynes Chevrolet in South Webster, Ohio. They were the only bid submitted for JFS circumstances and for the lease of a 2022 Malibu with 15,000 miles at $586.15 per month for 36 months with a residual value of $14,361.20. Are there any questions regarding item 14? Hearing none,
Motion to approve.
second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
In the matter of amendment to the resolution regarding the expenditure of ARPA local fiscal recovery funds for 934 regarding Franklin Furnace Park.
Item 15, the cost of the Franklin Furnace Park capital project, including site preparation, installation, construction, and equipment, is $295,581.10. On the 25th day of August 2022, the board approved a resolution authorizing the appropriation of the sum of $295,581.10 for the aforementioned Franklin Furnace Park, including site preparation, installation, construction, and equipment to be paid to Snyder Recreation, Inc., an authorized dealer of VCI Burke Company. Due to inadvertence, the board failed to encumber the additional amount of $5,320 as and for the performance bond as required by the agreement of the board and Snyder Recreation, Inc. It was the desire of the Board of Sauter County Commissioners to appropriate $295,581.10. plus the $5,320 performance bond for the Franklin Furnace Park. The purpose of this resolution is to amend the resolution authorized on the 25th day of August 2022 to reflect the actual agreement between the board and Snyder Recreation, Inc., and to appropriate the additional sum of $5,320 as required by the aforementioned agreement, and it is the desire of the board to appropriate and encumber the sum of $100,901.10 from the board's ARPA Local Fiscal Recovery Fund 934. Are there any questions regarding item 15? Hearing none?
Actually, on this particular one, my understanding, we are applying the $200,000 that we got from the capital budget. Senator Johnson was so good to help us with that, toward that. So the total cost of what we're actually spending is not necessarily $200,000 of that is from
Right.
grants. So
Correct.
we appreciate that. I wanted to throw that out there to let everybody know that the $200,000 of that is actually a grant that we received toward that park to get that park off the ground. So wanted to throw that out. And with that, I'll make a motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
In the matter of authorizing the clerk to advertise notices of employment opportunities for the maintenance department regarding the Scioto County Courthouse.
Are there any questions regarding item 16? Hearing none?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
And we got one late that I need to add, so it's in the matter of resolution of the use of ARPA revenue replacement funds for the provision of government services regarding SOPA Waterline Sewer Business Park.
Are there any questions regarding item 17?
To clarify on this, and I think it's important, and by the way, I appreciate our prosecutor's office and their cooperation, and our auditor's office, which all of this is kind of last minute because we're trying to, the only way I know to say it is to cobble together funding for a project. It's called fund stacking is what we're doing for a very large project out at the Soar Business Park for enhanced water. This would be working in conjunction with Water One. This is a EDA grant application. Doesn't mean we'll get it. We hope we get it. But we had to have, the value of this is $1.5 million from ARPA monies. We have to encumber those monies and have those set aside, basically. So if we do get the EDA grant, there is a local match, and we'll be able to utilize that toward the water line system. Total project cost of that system is $4.5 million. So we're working with Water One on that. We're hoping, EDA has been wonderful out of Chicago on this project. Hopefully we'll get the grant. We're working really hard on that. Robert Horton's team is literally working on this as we speak. We were working on it as of 11:30 last night. We were still working on it, so they're really working hard. It's a pretty lengthy process. Anyone that's ever done an EDA, which very few Americans get that privilege to do an EDA grant, but it is tough, and there's a lot of moving pieces to it, and they're doing a great job across the street. And OVRDC is helping us with this as well. So John Hemmings and his team is really stepping up to the plate, and we're hoping that we're able to bring this project to the Medford area. And I'll leave it at that. Hopefully we'll be able to, hopefully this happens. And this will definitely be a nice project to be able to use the ARPA funds on, and that is water for that area. For job creation, that's the big thing that it's all about. All right.
Need a motion to adopt?
I would make a motion to adopt the resolution.
And I'll second.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
And with that, I have to do two more, which is an amended certificate and appropriation. So in the matter of accepting an amended certificate for the Fund 934 in the amount of $7,327,503.57.
I make a motion to accept.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
And in the matter of approving an appropriation in the amount of $1.5 million for economic development programs.
I make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
That's a huge investment in our economic development. Definitely would be a big boost for that area, no pun intended, if you understand how badly we need water pressure, we need fire suppression systems in that park. The current tenant moving in, their suppression systems are so big. I've never seen anything like it, but that they are literally going to use every ounce of water we have currently. And it is, it's a good problem to have, and it's one that I believe all of our economic development professionals are on board to solve this problem. So we're working hard, diligently to make it happen. So,
Thank you.
okay.
And now we're waiting on Bill, if you want to
Bill.
come up with your investment
Sauter County
advisory report.
Treasurer, Bill Aug is in the house. I don't know if he's going to do a song or a dance. No?
There you go.
Thank you. Can I have one first?
I know. You moved down with the big dogs. You're here.
If you-
Yeah.
The unstable one. here.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, I am here for the quarterly investment report. We have gone through 3/4 of the year, believe it or not. The investment income for the third quarter is $46,282, an increase over $13,000 of the second quarter. So things are starting to turn. The total that we have now for the year is $101,981.30. So I think our goal was $120,000 to start the year, when we had 0.05 interest rates.
Yeah.
But like I said, things are turning around now. We've got 3/4 to go. I think the Fed's maybe talking about raising rates again, which helps us.
It's a catch-22 though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, we have, everything is in Star, Ohio, and in our Raymond James account. I think we have $13 million in that, and 2.5 in the Star, Ohio. They're all FDIC insured CDs. So I would suggest we continue along this same plan, which is a preservation of principal is the number one thing. So that's all safe and accounted for. And if anybody have any questions?
Not at this time, sir. Brian?
Just need a motion to accept the report.
I'll make a motion to accept the report as submitted by our treasurer.
And I'll second.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. See you soon. We have a land bank meeting.
We'll
I
need
know,
to-
I need to be on
We'll
time,
need to
right?
recess because of the bid
We're
opening.
running. We're running.
You guys know me.
Is there any?
You'll be there.
He wanted it later in the afternoon for them to get in their bids, so
Okay.
that's why it's so late, the bid opening.
Okay, all right. We are running late, a little bit late, and before we recess, are there any questions? We'll just limit them to
On the agenda.
Sam?
I see the new sign here, the very nice airport sign for, obviously, the very work we are, is that in place now, or is it in progress, or?
Which sign is it? Is it the sign
It's the
sign?
sign for the sewer.
The picture of the sign?
Yes.
Okay. No, that is a rendering. But it is something that we would like to see happen out at the airport.
Is there a cost on it?
Huh?
Is there cost available, or is it just?
Yes, yes.
That's probably too premature.
A little premature, but to give you an idea of what we're looking at for out there, That's 30, I think it's 34 feet tall.
It is.
With a jumbotron, I guess you call it, or a video board or whatever, but, when we first started the airport project, Kathy, especially whenever they went to go put in, water lines, well, even AEP, when they did three-phase over in that area, our sign went bye-bye. It was old, it was wood, it kind of looked like some of the signs you see out in or the older signs that you saw out in Shawnee Forest. I think it was made by the same company. I'm not really sure, but it was literally wood that had been with words carved into it. It was old. It was done. And we always said when we got our first project, we would work hard to get that sign replaced with something more substantial, because we not only have an airport, we have a business park. And people are moving into that business park. We have our projects. Kathy committed that once we got our first one, that we would buy a sign, and we have 2 now. So, and then we have several looking. So we need to move forward with that. So I didn't know that was over there, but that's kind of what we're looking at. Yeah.
Where do you envision putting that? Right there at the airport entrance?
Entrance
Barclay Road?
off Barclay Road. Yeah.
Okay.
And then once you go down Barclay and you have Barclay Extension that goes off to the left, there'll be a rock wall right there in that bend, and it'll have directional arrows, wayfinding signs for people to be able to know where to go to get certain things. So that's the vision. We're probably looking at spring at this point, but it definitely is the vision. We need to do something. We need to promote the businesses that are out there, because there's several.
It looks like that, or anything.
It's beautiful.
That'll attract attention.
Oh, yeah, it really will. And the height will help coming off the bypass. It'll definitely help with drawing attention to the entrance, so.
Wonderful addition out there, okay.
Yeah.
You get it going.
Yeah, so we're not there yet. We're working on it. And we'll see what we come up with, but.
I remember when going way back, I was still in the military, 1959, when the airport opened. And we had Lake Central out there.
Yeah.
I think probably 3 times a week for maybe 5 years. And I remember people taking the passenger train to DC-3s.
Mm-hmm.
And they had that short runway. Now you've got 7,000-foot runway, and you can take the small ones, other jets, but not the big ones.
Right, we can go, I think it's a G3 or a G4, Gulfstream 3 or 4.
Yeah.
But we've also had C-130s land there,
Really?
Oh yeah, we can take
To refuel those.
certain military aircraft can utilize that fuel. I've been at the air show when there was a C-130 sitting there. C-130s are designed to land on short runways and grass, whatever it's made out of, they can land and take off on it. But yeah, there's a lot of flexibility. There's a lot of use. Our runway, a lot of people don't realize, we have jets. Matter of fact, I saw several jets out there this week. There's people flying in jets all the time. We have charter flights out of there all the time on jets. Several of our businesses, the hospital, others fly doctors in, and others, they're chartering flights already out of PMH. So it's growing. The business is growing. Our hangars are full. The businesses out there are thriving, and it's only going to get better and better. So pretty excited. And we have our fly-in this weekend. Saturday, big deal. Got a B-25 Mitchell bomber coming in. Okay, that's Saturday, and you want to go out and see that. It's B-25 Mitchell, and they're flying in, and all kinds of other planes are flying in. That's this weekend, Saturday. Yeah, I think it's, I don't know, 10 to 2 or something like that. I'm sorry, I don't have the times. But yeah, it's online, it's on Facebook right now. I'm hoping a whole bunch of people come out.
I know Ottawa said they have $100 breakfast out there. It's $5 for breakfast and $95 for gasoline.
That's right. That's right. And we've got fuel, and we got a maintenance mechanic, and it's full service, and they'll treat you right. They'll pump your gas for you if you need them to. And that's the other thing we've done. Their fuel sales have increased dramatically since we went to the self-service at night, where transient pilots will fly in and refuel at 2 o'clock in the morning, and they can do that out there. We have Jet A, we've got regular aviation gas, and it's selling like crazy. So that was a good move. The airport board's really very proactive right now on making things happen. Full
That's
speed
right.
ahead, there you go. Speaking of the military, we got a lot of military helicopters landing there, going in, and yeah, I see a lot of the AG or Air Guard, coming in and have seen some of them, met some of them, and of course, we have a full-time, air evac out there, and they're out there, Medflight's out there full-time. And they fly in and out of Medford all the time, so, and they actually have a hangar, and they actually do their mechanical services. They have a full-time mechanic out there that works on their helicopters. It's amazing, all the things happening. It really is. It's exciting to see.
That's gotta be good for the area.
It's gotta be.
Gotta be.
And it is, yeah. People are flying in, coming down here, checking things out in Portsmouth, and we hear about it all the time. So, we wanna see more.
We'll watch the progress on the new sign then.
It's coming.
Okay,
It's coming. Thanks, Sam.
that's all I have, thank you.
Anything else on the off agenda?
Brian Cottle, any update on the traffic study conducted at the intersection of State Route 335 and 823 near the airport?
I don't know of any updates. Are you aware of any updates?
No, there's, ODOT has total control over that. That traffic study's done. They did it. Basically, what they tell us is once the traffic counts get to a certain level, then they will act on that. That's all we know. We don't have any say or, I believe something needs to be done because the intersection's getting, rather busy. Sometimes the visibility, especially coming from well, actually both areas. Brian knows this. He lives out there. He sees it. Coming from both locations, especially if you're coming up the hill, you're heading north on 335. Sometimes when you're pulling out of there, your reaction time is diminished, and it's to me, it's starting to become more so when we add truck traffic, and we will be soon, and then employee traffic, employees working at Benestar, as well as emergency service traffic. When all those things are added, that intersection, I would like to see them be more proactive and get ahead of it. I really would, and I know that's what Brian's thinking, is that it would be wise to do so instead of being reactive, because the traffic's coming. It's not a question of if, it's when, and it's coming. In 2023, that's gonna change big time. So, that is an ODOT call, but we have not heard anything new, and usually ODOT will talk to the county engineer before they talk to us about it, if at all. So, but I know this, they're transparent. They'll tell us when they're ready to go with it, and great question from Brian today. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay.
We need to recess, Brian. So
Yes.
make a motion.
I would make a motion to recess at this time.
And I'll second.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
It's 10:27 a.m.
And we will be back later for a bid opening for Willersburg wastewater treatment plant concrete.
All right. It's 1:01, and I'd like a motion to reconvene.
Make a motion to reconvene.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
This is a bid opening for Wheelersburg Composting Facility concrete work for the Sanitary Engineering Department. And the first bid is from Allard Excavation. And the grand total bid is $26,000. And the next one is from Wolf Creek Contracting, pardon me, Wolf Creek Contracting. Their lump sum bid is $35,169, $35,169. The next one's from Malone Five Star Concrete LLC. Their lump sum bid is $18,500, $18,500. The next one is from DGM Incorporated. Their bid total is $56,820. And the last one is from Leedy Contracting. Might be Leidy. The last one's gonna make me dig here. Is it? 22,550. 22550.
Madam Chairman, I make a motion that we refer these to our sanitary engineer for review and recommendation for bid award.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
And that concludes our bid opening.
Thank you all.
Thank you very
all.
much.
I'm sure you'll be hearing from Mr. Picklesummer. You got anything that you want
No,
to
I'd
add?
like to say just thanks everybody for putting your bids in.
Yes,
Appreciate
thank you
it.
very much, guys.
And I
Thank
will
you.
try to get
Appreciate
everything
that.
reviewed. Get with you.
Ms. Lloyd,
I haven't seen you for a
he's been a busy man.
Yeah, I do.
Everyone else is busy. Everybody's busy, I tell you what.
Nobody's in the basement now.
You got a notary in the basement, but there's a notary on the fourth floor too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
do it
there's-
sometimes
there's
after-
notaries.
There's
There's
probably several in this courthouse, but there's one right there.
Oh, he don't know nothing.
But I'm telling you, I told him to do it.
Okay, yeah, tell him. You tell him, give him a hard time, go ahead.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you, guys, take care.
Bye-bye.
I get a motion to adjourn.
That's what I just told
I
you.
would make a motion to adjourn.
And I'll second.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye, it's 1:05.